Okay, now let's move to the third person cases. And the first examples would be in the present tense. Let's start with singular masculine. Okay, the first example will be هو, which means he. يكتب, writes. الشعر, poetry. بانتظام, which means regularly. Okay, what we add to the root is the letter ya, the initial form of the letter ya. يكتب. هو يكتب الشعر بانتظام. He writes poetry regularly. The second example is for the singular feminine. هي تكتب الشعر بانتظام. هي تكتب, she writes, الشعر, poetry, بانتظام, regularly. What did we add to the root is the initial form of the letter ta with فتحة on the top of it. تكتب. هي تكتب. The next example is for dual masculine, only masculine, not feminine, because dual feminine has a different example. هما, which means they for dual masculine. يكتبان, they write. الشعر, poetry, بانتظام, regularly. هما يكتبان means they write for dual masculine. What did we add to the root is the initial form of the letter ya and fatha on the top of it, and also the final form of the letter alif and the isolated form of the letter nun. يكتبان. Okay, the next example is for dual feminine, and we are going to use the same pronoun, which is هما. هما تكتبان الشعر بانتظام. هما, we are using the same pronoun for dual masculine and feminine, but here the verb changes. In the feminine case, we added ta and fatha on the top of it, and that's the difference between them. Here we added ya, and here we added ta. And of course, alif and nun. تكتبان. هما تكتبان الشعر بانتظام. They write poetry regularly, and of course for dual feminine. The next example is for plural masculine. هم يكتبون الشعر بانتظام. And notice that we added ya at the beginning and waw noon at the end. يكتبون. The next example is for plural feminine. هن, they for plural feminine. يكتبن, they write. الشعر بانتظام. They write poetry regularly, and here you are talking about a group of women. هن يكتبن الشعر بانتظام. They write poetry regularly. What we added to the root here is the ya and fatha on the top of it, and also the noon with shadda and fatha in the top of it. هن يكتبن الشعر بانتظام. Okay, now for the past tense for the third person. We'll start with the singular masculine. And as I said before, that the root is the same as the past in the third person. In the third person past, verb form is the same as the root. Nothing to be changed. كتب لك هذه الرسالة. كتب here means he wrote. لك to you. هذه this الرسالة message. The next example is كتبت. كتبت لك هذه الرسالة. كتبت. We added ta in the singular feminine case in the past form of the verb. كتبت لك هذه الرسالة. She wrote this message to you. The next example is for dual masculine, and we'll separate the dual masculine from the dual feminine because we'll have different shapes of the past form of the verb. كتب لك هذه الرسالة. They wrote this letter to you. Here they is, here you mean two men who wrote this message to you. What we added is the final shape of the letter alif. Okay, كتبتا لك هذه الرسالة. Here you mean two women or two girls wrote the message to you. What we added is the medial ta and the final shape of the letter alif to the root, and it becomes for the dual feminine case and the third person. The next example is for plural masculine. كتبوا, which means a group of men, wrote this message to you. A group of men. You mean a group of men, or they wrote this message to you, and here we mean a group of men or group of young men or boys. What we added here is the letter waw and alif. This alif is actually silent. This alif is silent, and it is added in the case of plural masculine, but is not pronounced. It is written, but it is silent. كتبوا لك هذه الرسالة. The next example is كتبنا لك هذه الرسالة. كتبنا لك هذه الرسالة. They here means a group of women or girls. They wrote هذه this الرسالة message لك to you. They wrote this message to you, and here means a plural feminine. What we added in this case is the letter noon in addition to the shadda and fatha in the top of it. Let's move to the future form of the third person, and in this case we'll choose this verb, which is ذهب, which means go. I would like to remind you that we add sa or sawfa to form the future. Notice this example for the singular masculine. سيذهب. He will go. أحمد. أحمد here is a name of a boy, a man. إلى السوق, to the market. غدا, tomorrow. Again, سيذهب, he will go. أحمد, a name of a boy or a man. إلى السوق غدا, to the market tomorrow. In Arabic, you can see that we can put the verb before the adjective. We can write the verb before the one who did the action. So as you can see in this example, we wrote Ahmed. We put Ahmed after the verb سيذهب, and it is familiar in Arabic to see the adjective after the verb. What we added is sa, which is known for the future, and ya, سيذهب. The next example is for singular feminine. ستذهب هدى إلى السوق غدا. هدى is a name of a girl. This letter is not ya. It is written like ya. It is pronounced as alif. Huda, not hudi. ستذهب means she will go. Huda, a name of a girl. إلى السوق, to the market. غدا, tomorrow. What we added to the verb is sin, which is for the future, and ta. ستذهب هدى. Huda will go. And as I mentioned, you can notice that the verb comes before the adjective. And it is okay in Arabic. And we can reverse, the adjective in the place of the verb. Could be هدى. هدى ستذهب إلى السوق غدا. It's okay. You can reverse it. Let's take the next example is for dual masculine. We'll separate the dual masculine from the dual feminine because there will be some differences. سيذهبان أحمد وعلي. Ahmad is a name of a boy and Ali is a name of the boy. So this is a name of two males. سيذهبان means they will go. Ahmad وعلي, Ahmad and Ali, إلى السوق, to the market, غدا, tomorrow. Notice that we added the sin, and ya. We added alif and noon at the end of the verb. Let's move to the next example. Is for dual feminine. ستذهبان هدى وسلوى إلى السوق غدا. Huda and Salwa are names for girls. So ستذهبان, they will go. Huda and Salwa to the market tomorrow. We added sin, ta at the beginning of the roots, and we added alif and noon at the end. The next example is سيذهبون. Here means they will go, and here we mean a group of men or boys, and this is for the plural masculine. They will go to the market tomorrow, and we added sin and ya in the beginning of the root, and waw and noon at the end of the road. So سيذهبون إلى السوق غدا. They will go to the market tomorrow. The last example is سيذهبن. سيذهبن, which means they will go for plural feminine. Here I mean a group of women or girls. They will go to the market tomorrow. سيذهبن إلى السوق غدا. Okay, here we added sin, ya, and we added noon at the end, in addition to shadda and fatha. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed and benefited from this lesson. I actually exerted a lot of effort doing this lesson, so please do not forget to share it with your friends and do not forget to press the like button. This will help me a lot.